Now, though, this is the imitator and accessor methods. These two methods we used when one class having a different identification and the different properties. Like the definition, this method are used when a class having more attributes and the identifications. It contains setters method and getter methods. Here we know here we not use the built-in function as I used in the last lecture, like init. The syntax is below. First, put a class and name of class in here and colon. Then a step 2. Now this is the second step. In first step we name a class. In the second step we define our function like def and set, put a set and variable 1, and this is the constructor methods for the initialization, and for the second variables use a def, then get, then variable 2 dot self and get here like this and up to the nth terms. In the second step, basically we use a settler and a getter methods, and we put this into the variables 1 and variable 2, which are the inner class as compared to the our parent class, as we mentioned here. Now this is the third step. Now create objects for a class like this and put that set into variable and give a name or the specification of the variable within a double commas. This is very important, and up to the nth term. Now the fourth step is now access these field like this. Now this like print p1 dot get dot variable 1, that print p1 dot get variable 2, variable 3 up to the nth term. Okay, this is our example. I write a program for this class. The class is computer, and it has a 3 property like version, like price, like company. This is mentioned here. Let we do a practical example of this on a Python and see that how the imitator and accessor method we can perform on a Python. Okay, in this lecture, we will do a practical example of accessor and imitator methods, and also setter and getter methods. In the last lecture, we create a simple class, the student, which contain the fields like the name and roll number and grade, and print this. And now in this lecture, we will do a same examples on a setter and a getter methods. Okay, first of all, we should define a class and put the name of the class like student here. Okay, in the next step we should like define and put a setter method here, like set, and put fields of this class like set and name. First is the name of the student, we like that, and in this that name. Okay, this is a setter method is related to a field of the student which called as name. Okay, in the next section, that same as the last, that put self dot name is equal to name. Okay, yeah, this is the first. In the next sessions, we put getter methods like define, getter method get, put a name, and self. You should not write a name automatically. It get the same thing under like this. then you should write the return self dot name. Okay, this is one class like name, and simple copy this, and for next class which is a roll numbers, put here that roll number, that roll number. In here you should change the roll number. In here you should also change the roll number, and also that roll number. Same as a getter method, that return first get a roll number, and in a name roll number. Okay, and now again paste for the third class, sorry, for the third fields of class student, which is grade, grade. Okay, let change that. This is a simple method, also called the accsessor method, and easier method as compared to other method. That put a grade here, and you change the field's name like grade, and put grade. Now it is a time for create a object for instance of class. That create object for a class. Put here that fields equal to put a class name like student, and under this object we will try that start set name, and here set name give the initialization of the name. Let's suppose the name is Ali. In the next step, that for sc dot roll number, that the roll number, and put roll number here, that 1, and put s dot. So here's put set here, and the next step put set of the name grade as okay. The first is here grade like third grade, but also you can grade here. You can also put within a double bracket like a first grade. Okay, now it's time to get these values, then print, first print and print at sc dot get name. Okay, the one thing is this, and simple copy this, simple copy, Control V for the next class, sorry, now for the next field. One is a get name, the other is a get roll number, and the third is field is a get grade here, get grade. Okay, now you can see that this is the final there. Let reformat code first before running this. If you run this program, then you can see that it looks beautiful. Okay, let's run this program and see the results. That one in here, that the student object has no attributes like the names. Okay, now you can see that the code is already format I go to I format that. Okay, now you can see that our class is a student, and the fields of the class student is our name. First we set a name, and in the second step we get a get name for the second fields, like this. And for also this is a roll number is a field of a student, and put a set and a put a get. And for the third identification, put a set grade and put a grade. And then we uh, now create object for the class, and I put names and roll number and the grade, and now print these value in a get format. Okay, let's run this program. Right click in here and put run here. Okay, you can see that that the system create that Ali and its roll number and is a grade. Okay, this is called the immitator and accessor methods. And hope for the next lecture